All right, hi everybody. We're gonna be baking some holiday cookies, and I'm gonna be baking these with my mom because she knows the recipes and we're gonna be sharing with you guys. So we're gonna be starting with, which ones?
Lemon Taralucci's.
So we're just gonna be doing the start of the Taralucci cookies, and we are starting off with
Put in the flour.
5 cups of flour. Then it's going to be, and the flour was sifted, 2 teaspoons of magic baking powder, and then you're gonna lightly mix this just until it's combined, incorporated. Next, half a container of Crisco, which you have to cube just so that it incorporates and blends in. And what I want to do is I'll do this by hand, just dropping it in. Low speed, I'm gonna mix this together.
Two zests of a lemon. Now we're gonna lightly beat the eggs. And the sugar, 1.5 cup of sugar. The 3 eggs slightly beaten.
And now I'll just let this mix until well combined. And we're gonna start to slowly incorporate our 1 cup of milk. We add this in gradually because with baking, everything is eyeballing also. You don't want it too dry, you don't want it too sticky. So yes, it calls for a cup of milk, but please don't dump it all in. Do bit by bit and pay attention to the consistency of your dough. There we go. Sometimes it's just best to go with your hands. My hands are clean and washed. There we go. It's a wet, sticky dough.
Sometimes you have to flour the board as you go along.
That's why it's nice to be 2 people.
Yeah. Nice to have a little bit of assistance. Feels good. So
Again, you see how she's just eyeballing? She went for the kill.
yeah.
there's no ruler that comes out. She's like this, yeah, and that's it.
Put this aside.
And you've been doing this so long and you have so many years of experience, like my mother has, doing this with her mother, etc., and then passing it on to us. Well, it's just, you pick it up, you go with it. So if you're a first-time baker, I would say be sure to use a measuring spoon so that things get evened out, and then you can roll it out and measure as you go along. But don't add yourself that added pressure. Sometimes just give it a try and do it a few times, and you're gonna get the hang of it.
Like they say, practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
No one was born knowing everything. Everybody had to be taught, and we had to do things over and over again. So if you fail, don't get discouraged, just do it again. Okay, so I'm gonna wash my hands, and I'll be right back.
Alright, so the Taralucci are all done, baked until a light golden. So as you can see, they kept their shape nice and high like this. Perfect. And now we are gonna do a classic icing, which is powdered sugar with some lemon juice. And you can also, after you ice it, sprinkle a little bit more lemon zest. But we ran out because we used a lot inside the cookies.
Let the icing fall where it may.
There you go, and then the icing is dripping, and these are going to dry like a great little glaze. Alright guys, so we're going into the next cookie here. This is the Italian thumbprint cookie. So we're gonna start by creaming butter and sugar together. So it's 2 sticks of butter, which equals to 1 cup of butter.
Unsalted butter.
Unsalted butter, so 1 cup of unsalted softened butter and 1 cup of sugar. And we are gonna start creaming that. Always on low so we don't get dust in the air. And after we cream it, what's the next step, Ma?
Next step would be, once that's creamed, it's your egg. You put in all the wet ingredients.
Creaming for 4 to 5 minutes, not 45. 4 to 5 minutes. Once it is fully creamed, like that.
Nice and smooth, silky smooth.
In comes the egg, lower it down, if not, you're gonna make a frittata.
There we go.
All right, and our salt.
There we go, the salt goes into the dry.
So that was 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour that we sifted, always remove any lumps, and that was the salt.
Half a teaspoon of salt.
Half a teaspoon of salt.
We'll start incorporating the flour.
You incorporate as much as you can with the hand mixer, and then the rest can be done with your spatula. But we should be able to do this all with the hand mixer. So we're going to be wrapping this up to refrigerate before using. We've already prepared one in advance, so we will be going right into it. Come on, Mama.
There we go.
That's hard.
There we go.
Oh, okay. It's very loose dough, that's why it's falling apart. So this is the refrigerated dough right here, and we're gonna be doing the same type of thing, shaping them up into little balls and laying them on the cookie sheet. You're gonna be separating them about 2 inches apart because they will grow, and you slightly flatten them. And we're gonna go in a little bit more later on. All right, so this is what's gonna be going in the oven. We have 2 trays done like this. They will go in the oven at 350, and at the 8-minute mark, what we're gonna be doing is taking it out and see you in 8 minutes. So we are at the 8-minute mark, so we pulled it out of the oven at 8 minutes because now we're gonna do the indentation, put the jam, and put it back in the oven to finish cooking. So with the back of a spoon, we'll just be lightly pressing down. That, so that the jam has a place to sit and not spill out so much. Or we can also use the back of a measuring spoon, which is actually a better idea.
Much better.
Much better idea. And then you choose jam of choice. I'm choosing an apricot and some as a raspberry. There we go. These are so good. The jam ends up hardening a little bit, so it ends up being like a sticky candy. Like, the kids love these too. Just want to show you how easy it is to remove off. You see how absolutely nothing sticks? Nothing sticks. So when you're baking with butter or Crisco, any type of baking lard, they come perfect and absolutely nothing sticks. Next up, we are going to be doing, which one's this?
These are going to be the cranberry pistachio biscotti. We're keeping it with the Christmas tradition. Usually we do them with almonds, roasted almonds, but trying to keep with the Christmas theme, we will be replacing the almonds with pistachios and cranberries.
So this is going to be made as a log, and then we'll be slicing them, so it'll be a real type of coffee biscuit, a biscotti. So what we started off with is 2 cups of sifted flour, and we're going to be doing this in a power mixer because the dough ends up getting very tough, and it's going to be hard, exactly, dense. Hard to work with a hand mixer. Okay enough if you just have your hands, but we're gonna be using my KitchenAid here, and we put the hook really like a dough batter. So this will help us once it's fully combined, then the rest we do with our hands. Right. Because the only wet ingredient in here is your eggs. So it ends up being a harder cookie, hence the biscotti, a coffee cookie. So
we're gonna add, what are you adding now?
Whatever you tell me.
Okay. The half a teaspoon of salt.
Sure. Like so.
There we go. half a teaspoon of baking powder,
Yeah.
a cup and a half of sugar,
Perfect.
and we're gonna lightly combine all the ingredients together on low speed.
I'm not putting the lid, so we're really gonna do it on low speed. If not, it's gonna be all over the room here. And then one and out.
There you go.
Just go in.
You
with
read
the
my
little
mind.
spatula.
There you go. Over the
Grab
spatula.
what was on the side. We'll do that one last little bit of time.
In the meantime, I'm going to start cracking the eggs.
Recipe calls for 3 eggs.
There you go. On low speed, and we start.
Okay, so we're not beating them first. We're just putting them in. Put them in line. That's 2.
That's my bad. I forgot to beat them, but we usually
My
beat them.
bad.
But it's okay. It's all gonna get mixed
It's
up.
all relative.
There you go. As long as you incorporate it well, or like my father used to say, it's all going to the same place, so it's all good.
Or like I used to hear growing up, how it comes is good.
That's right.
So we're just gonna wait for the flour to really incorporate with the egg, and then we'll increase it a little bit. And once at least it's combined enough, you'll see that it'll just clump up and start to circle, and that's when you'll finish the rest by hand. And we're almost there.
But before that, we're gonna have to add in the cranberries and the pistachios.
Yeah.
Half a teaspoon.
Half a teaspoon of almond extract just gives that delicious biscotti flavor. Classic flavor.
Perfect.
So those are basically your wet ingredients. The almond extract and your
And the
3
eggs.
eggs.
That's all.
And this comes to a nice sticky dough again, you'll see.
It almost comes to the consistency like an almond paste.
Yeah. You just want to grab what's on the side here.
Yeah. Oh my God, that almond
It
extract smells so good.
I'm just gonna eat this butter like that.
I know.
Like, not good, not good. Don't do it. So we're gonna add the 1 cup of cranberries and 1 cup of pistachios. You can chop them up roughly if you want. We're leaving them whole. Find it looks nice when you cut the log. And as you're slicing it, when it's semi-hot, you're gonna see that you're slicing basically through the pistachios.
There you go.
We're gonna mix this on low, just so
Always
that
on-
it combines.
Exactly. Always on low
Yeah.
speed.
And this is a beautiful Christmas themed biscotti log that we'll be slicing into coffee cookies.
Yeah. Just needs to mix like a minute, not more than a minute.
So we're gonna lightly flour our kneading board here so that we can roll out
Our tumbaño.
our tombano. Lightly touch flour on your
Mhm.
hands so that nothing really sticks here. And you're just lightly forming it into, you don't have to roll this, knead this, there's no yeast in here where you have to work anything. You just want to lightly roll it and shape it.
This should come like to about maybe 12 inches long, 12 to 14.
Into the shape that you want. Putting this on
Long. There we go.
our cookie sheet here, and any other little adjusting you can do on the cookie sheet.
So of course, you know the biscotti. Biscotti, they're going to be baked twice. First as a log. Then we take them out, and with a serrated knife, we're going to cut them. Now, all we have to do is put the egg wash on top.
Show you one last time.
Shines
There we go.
with the egg wash. Going into the oven,
In the oven it
preheated
goes.
350 for about 10 to 12 minutes or till it's golden brown. We take it out. We cool for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to slice them, and back into the oven they go.
We're gonna edit that to make it shorter for you
Yeah.
guys. So the biscottis are done, and they have been fully cooled. So as my mom explained, we bake them twice, right?
Exactly.
And only once fully cooled, you find your choice of serrated knife, a bread knife. We're gonna try either or and we'll see which one cuts it the best without, you know, breaking it. And it might break a little bit, but just to show you. Okay. And we're gonna be slicing, we'll slice one at a time, but it is fully cooled, but still soft. And that's a perfect gift to say that it'll cut nicely without a full dry crumble.
I usually cut them on a diagonal, but if you want to cut them straight, that's totally up to you.
They'll be going back in the oven for how long?
For about, I would say 10 minutes, all depending on your oven.
Yeah, it's just so that they get a little bit more golden brown. Again, we're looking for that dark, crisp biscotti, but not a burnt one. So you want to pay attention. This last little bit is just so that they get a little bit more golden brown, a little bit more drier, because it's a dipping coffee biscuit. While my mom's cutting, how beautiful these are. I'm just gonna do the second log and both in the oven they go. And as you can see, the biscotti are perfectly nice and dry. I'm gonna show you here and here, a beautiful biscotti. This is exactly what you're looking for. Glistening, shiny on top, nice and crisp. My mother will be placing them on a cooling rack to cool off. And that's it. Then we're gonna be assembling little Christmas gift baskets once we're all done the baking.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Alright guys, I have my mom prepping some maraschino cherries, some green and some red. They will be going on top of our next cookie, which is the crinkle cookie. We will be doing a vanilla crinkle cookie and then a cocoa powder chocolate crinkle cookie. Very easy to do, so what I'm going to be doing is starting to just cream the butter with some sugar, and that'll be our base for the cookies, and my mother will join me when she's done the prep. Okay, so we're going to start with 1 stick of softened butter. Now, I'm all about being impatient, but there's some things that you really have to be patient for, and that's what makes the baking easier. So make sure that your items are room temperature. It just makes the cooking and baking process a lot easier. So when we say softened, really softened, okay? Really room temperature.
And it's unsalted butter.
Unsalted butter. My mother's in the background, guys. Hands are always washed, hands are always washed. And then it is, so 1 stick of unsalted butter, and it is 1 cup of regular sugar. And we are going to be mixing this on medium to high. We use a hand mixer. We find it's easier to control, especially when you're creaming something. You want to get into the angles, etc., instead of a basic hand stand mixer. So here we go. Start on low because you don't want to have the sugar fly off into the air. And once it's fully combined, then you'll put it a little bit higher. And creaming this basically means that you're giving the time for the sugar to absorb the moisture in the butter, and that when you taste a little bit in the cookies, you won't feel that that grain of sugar is still there. So that's why you want to be patient and let this mix for a good couple of minutes until it is nice and smooth. Okay, so no more grains of the sugar left. Now I'm putting it on high.
It usually takes about 45 minutes to get
45 minutes to cream?
4 to 5 minutes.
4 space to 5 minutes, not 45. I'm like, 45 minutes? I've been baking wrong my whole life.
4 to 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother, she's back. 45 minutes? What? Say what? So 4 to 5 minutes.
I'll get the spatula.
Goodness gracious. You see, it ends up looking like real whipped butter. What are we at, 2 minutes? When you're tired, switch hands. Thankfully, it's not 45 minutes.
Oh, darn.
Oh my God. You see it snowing in the background? Winter time. So again, my mother's cracking 1 egg, and she likes to beat it before adding it in. Gonna touch the seed. See, I still feel a little bit of the grains. right now. They don't
At
need
this
to know.
point, yeah. At this point, we're gonna add in the egg. And the vanilla. And we'll beat that for 2 minutes.
So now we sifted 1 cup of flour, which we'll be adding to this mixture. And we also have half a teaspoon of baking powder and the 1 cup of sifted flour and a pinch of salt.
And a pinch of salt.
So we'll be adding it all here together.
There you go.
Add it all here.
That's good.
I'll just lightly mix it. What you can do is always, you can also sift all of the dry together. Now I'm going to start to just put in a little bit and mix as I go. Okay, more. This is an easy dough. It's not so tough of a dough. Nice and soft.
There we go.
And this is well combined. I just let it spin a little bit to get the rest of the batter off, and that's it. Here we go.
Lightly dusting.
So this is the vanilla recipe. In the fridge it goes until you're ready to bake, or in the freezer it goes until you're ready to thaw and bake it. Here are the doughs once they've been refrigerated, nice and firm. Well, firm, not really firm, but more set. This was, again, the same exact dough batter, cookie batter that we did. We just added 3 teaspoons of cocoa powder, and that's it. And then you end up having your cocoa one.
If you like it darker, you could just add like another teaspoon or so. I always came out milk chocolate. Sorry. I'll stop talking.
Jesus!
I'm interrupting all the time.
This video's gonna be 7 hours long if she gives like, and then we at 2:35 you can do this cocoa powder.
I'm enjoying my time with my baby.
I'm like gonna have so much footage to edit. Stop talking. Okay, roll it in powdered sugar, for the love of Jesus. Always space them out a little bit because while they cook, they do expand. Every cookie is different. Some cookies don't expand at all depending on what you're using, but we have baking powder inside, so obviously baking powder, think magic, expansion. So give them a little bit of room. And then we're just adding in a cherry.
Keeping with the Christmas theme.
Don't break theme. So the crinkle cookies are cooked. As you remember, we did some plain, so plain vanilla and the cocoa. And then we also, on the vanilla ones, decided to put a maraschino cherry, just to make it a little bit festive. What we're deciding to do on some of the plain ones is do a milk and powdered sugar frosting to dip it in, and then we'll be adding some festive sprinkles, which is basically crushed up peppermint candy canes. Just add a little bit of festivity. Very Italian themed color.
That's true, the Italian flag.
I'm looking at the colors.
Christmas and Italian colors.
You want to let these cool so that the frosting completely hardens before you end up packaging them or whatnot. So if you can leave them overnight, overnight or even in the fridge, etc., before you handle them or package them, that would be the best bet. So that's it. Now these are going to set, and we will be back to assemble our gift package. And there you go, guys. That was baking. A long full day, but we did 5 different sorts. If you count the jams with different jams, then 6. But honestly, 5 different types of cookies. We can do so much more, but hopefully we showed you guys a nice little arrangement. So just gonna zoom in a little bit and show you guys a little bit more. We had the pistachio and cranberry biscotti. These ones. We had the thumbprint with the jam.
Apricot.
And the raspberry. We had the vanilla crinkle cookies that we chose to put some with maraschino cherries.
Cherry, red and green.
There you go. Kept some plain. We have the ones with cocoa powder.
Crinkle.
There you go. And
the Taraluccis.
forgot about these, the lemon Taraluccis.
There we go.
Just the little lemon drops. And then we have some of the crinkle cookies that we also iced, and we put some peppermint.
So as you can see, we made a wonderful full arrangement. I'm gonna eat this one. Thank you. I think we earned it.
Back it up. You can gift wrap and package like so. So cute. You can get these little bags anywhere, but yeah, it ends up making for the cutest little gift, Christmas gift.
You can give them to your guests as they leave. If they come over for Christmas Eve or Christmas Day.
As they leave, get out! Please go home!
Okay, here.
I'm tired. So fun.
I enjoyed my day. It was a full day, but I truly enjoyed my day.
It was a full day, but baking is fun. So hope you guys like this recipe. Stay tuned. We will be doing more sweets coming up for the holidays. For today, see you in the next episode. Happy holidays.
Buone feste natalizie. Ciao.